What's up guys, today I have with me the Marvel Legends Spider-Man No Way Home Armadillo Build-A-Figure Wave. So the first figure that I'm going to review is the black and gold suit Spider-Man, which has definitely impressed me much more in hand than I would have expected. And of course, before we unbox the figure, let's have a quick look at the box. On top we have the Spider-Man logo, down to the bottom, product information, and down to the side, artwork of Spider-Man in that very cool black and gold suit, as well as another Spider-Man logo over here. Moving on to the back, there's a full artwork of Spider-Man in his black and gold outfit, a description of Spider-Man and his gold suit, rest of the figures in the wave, and down to that last side is the same reflected artwork. So let's go ahead and get him open. Out of the box, we have the action figure in the plastic tray with two web shooting hands and the Armadillo Build-A-Figure left leg. Now we also have a better look at the box insert. It is a golden yellow backdrop with a Spider-Man logo at the back, adding a really good contrast to the overall black packaging. First up, we have a look at the web shooting hands. They are cast in a black plastic and there's red paint for the fingers. Having a closer look at the sculpt, we can see sculpted web lines on the fingers on the inside as well as the outside. These hands are articulated inwards as well as outwards. And of course, those web shooting hands pop on just fine onto the figure. Onto the figure itself, it appears to be a brand new sculpt. And the most impressive thing to me about this figure is, once you zoom into him, you can see that gold in the web lining, which is really sharply applied all over the figure. But on top of that super sharp and eye-catching gold web lining, there is black tech detail finely imprinted all over that suit on the black sections. This black detail is super impressive, really interesting to look at, and stretches all the way down the figure, even onto the legs. The black and gold paint scheme actually makes me think of Egyptian pharaohs, and all that additional black imprinted tech detail just adds to the intricacy of the suit, much like hieroglyphics in Egyptian lore. On his head, he's got white for his eyes and a black outlining around the eyes. Everything is really super sharp. I still can't get over the fact that all the gold is super sharply applied, even down the back of his head and his neck. All that sculpting and paint applications is just really gorgeous. And all that black tech detail on his head also really comes through really nicely. Once you get him close up, the tech detail also goes up to the top of his head, but only on the front. Onto his torso, he's got the spider logo. The black section on the abdomen is slightly tilted to the right. And apart from that, there's a little bit of slop over here, where the black tech detail actually goes into the gold lining. But that's not really such a big deal. Moving on to his arms, there's gold web lining on the top of his shoulder, some more of that gold design element with the black tech detail again, just above his elbow. Just below his elbow, he's got a hit of red, and that red adds vibrance to an already cool suit. The red contrasts really nicely with the black and the gold, so all that red paint is on the inside of the forearms and on his fingers as well. Onto his back, we also have a larger spider logo, and that's also really nicely and sharply applied with gold. Moving on to his legs, they appear to be plain black, but once again, the tech detail is a really nice touch down the front of his thigh. Onto his lower legs, that same gold element with the black tech design, and that mirrors the design from the top of his elbow. So once again, lower legs also really nicely sculpted and painted. And onto his feet, he's got a heel guard as well as a toe guard. For articulation, his head is on a ball hinge, so that goes 360. There's some sideways tilt and a good bit of tilt looking downwards as well as upwards. He's got butterfly shoulder joints, and that goes an impressive range backwards. Really able to pull his shoulders backwards, and it's also nice that the inside of the butterfly joint is also painted with gold web lining. He can also pull his shoulders forward quite a fair bit, so that's really impressive shoulder butterfly joints. Swivel hinge at the shoulders, so that gets you 360, as well as popping upwards that far. Upper bicep swivel for 360, double hinge at the elbow, very good range. Swivel hinge at the wrist for 360, articulating inwards as well as outwards. Mid-torso ab crunch, giving you a good bit of range forward and quite good range backward as well. Waist swivel over here, so that goes 360. Ball joints at the hips, so that goes quite a good way outwards. Forwards and backwards, no problem. Upper thigh swivel, double jointed knees, very good range. Very good range in ankle tilt upwards as well as downwards, and a very decent ankle pivot outwards as well as inwards. He's got a decent amount of articulation for a Spider-Man, so you should be able to get him into most TWIP poses. And once you get him in hand, he's definitely really fun to pose in various flight poses. It's a slight bummer that the black and gold Spider-Man doesn't come with fists, but he's able to use those fists from the comic Miles Morales action figure. The shades of red actually match really well. The only thing is that the Miles fists have black web lining on the fingers, but that's not such a big deal. Overall, it is a good fit and it matches the look of the new black and gold Spider-Man. I also have a spare Tom Holland head that I'm able to pop on with a little bit of heat from the hairdryer, so that fits on really well. The only thing that's really missing from this figure would be a set of wall crawling hands. Size-wise, this figure stands at 5 3/4 inches or just over 14.5 centimeters. He's taller than the Miles Morales comic Spider-Man, but shorter than Pizza Spider-Man. Here he is with Cosmic Spider-Man and Retro Spider-Man. Here's Green Goblin and Venom. He's about Wolverine's height, but shorter than Black Widow. Some comparisons with other lines, here he is with G.I. Joe Classified Series, and some Star Wars Black Series. From the initial product pictures, I was ready to pass on this figure that would probably only have limited screen time. But once I had him in hand, I'm really impressed with the gold web lines and the black tech detail on the front of the figure. The red paint on the arms adds a nice bit of contrast to the overall color scheme, and the articulation functions really well, especially with the butterfly shoulders. The couple of things that would have made this perfect would be a Tom Holland head, some interchangeable fists and wall-crawling hands, and a swivel joint at his calf. I'm pleased to have the black and gold Spider-Man in hand, and I hope you enjoy him as well. Please like and share this video, let me know what you think in the comments below, and subscribe to my channel for more toy reviews. Also, don't forget to check out my new TikTok account in the description below. Thanks for watching, take care, and stay safe.